Welcome again to part 2 of Module 4 of the Awakening course on purpose, vision, and mission. My name is Theresa Odey and I will be your facilitator for this module. I hope the last module was, very insightful for you. We were looking at purpose discovery. We're looking at what purpose is. We looked at living by design as against living by default. We looked at how to find purpose. We looked at pointers to purpose. I hope you've been able to make some good use of the things we discussed in the last part of this module. Now we are going into living purposefully and intentionally. Now, under living purposefully and intentionally, we'll be looking at life clarity and we'll also be looking at keys for living intentionally. So, first of all, when we talk about life clarity, we're just saying that how informed are you about your life right now? How much information do you have about your life? See, awareness is one of the biggest parts to getting, to moving from where you are to changing levels. If you are not aware about where you are, if you don't have enough clarity about where you are, what is happening in your life, then you would actually have issues changing your levels or moving to a new level. So these are three questions I want you to ask yourself and write down your answers. Where are you now? Think about it as broadly as you want to. Think about it across every area of your life. Financially, where are you? In your spiritual walk, where are you? In your career or business or academics, where are you? In terms of maybe you have a business, you have a vision God has put in your heart, where are you? In terms of your family, your relationships, your networks, where are you? So I want you to think about it critically. Where are you right now? If you were to describe your life, what words will you use? Where are you in your life right now? Now, the next question I want you to also ask yourself is, are you doing what you want? Looking at where you are today, are you doing what you want? If you were to describe what you're doing, is it what you want? Or are you just doing something to pass time? And then if you start to ask yourself, are you doing what you want to also be clear. If you are not doing what you want, then what do you really want? So I want you to take some time out to think critically about this. Answer the questions, outline them, and just use this as an opportunity to engage in quiet meditation. Remember in our last part we talked about the necessity for quiet meditation. Let some of these questions guide you. You see, living intentionally starts with actually understanding where you are today. And living intentionally is that life that is lived by design. So you want to first be sure where you are, because where you are is like the raw material that you need to use to start moving into the kind of life you want. So the final question I want you to ask yourself is, are you where you want to be? Now you see that there's a where you want to be and there's a doing of what you want. So are you where you want to be? You can even add a final question to say, are you who you want to be? So you want to look at who you want to be, where you want to be, and what you want to be doing. So across these three areas, you want to think about it. Are you where you want to be? Are you who you want to be? Are you doing what you want? Now, once you have defined if what your answer is to this question, you also want to be clear. Who do you want to become? Where do you want to be? And what do you want to be doing? These are the things that actually serve as the foundation for an intentional life. It is when you start to answer some of these questions, you are now able to move from that place of just living anyhow to now living intentionally. So I want to challenge you. Answer these questions and don't just gloss over it. Take some time to actually think about it and write down your answers. Now, this is just a diagram about the stages of life, the different stages of life. And you know, the interesting thing about these stages of life is that across different areas of your life, you can be on different stages. So, in your finance, you can be in one stage, while in maybe your relationships, you're in another stage, in your business, you're in another stage. So, the first stage is seed stage. This is a state of unconsciousness. You do not have a basic understanding that you are here for a purpose. So in seed stage, you're almost in that state of dormancy. You don't even yet know that, oh, maybe you have a purpose. Do you understand? And the interesting thing is that across every area of your life, there's actually a seed stage where you don't yet understand what you are supposed to be doing in that area. You don't yet have an idea of how you are expected to live in that area, and you are probably seeing a lot of confusion and chaos in that area. Because the honest truth is, once you're not living purposefully in an area of life, there'll be chaos, there'll be confusion, there'll be this kind of misfits. So the first stage is the seed stage, and it's characterized by unconsciousness, no basic understanding of purpose. Then from seed stage, you move to leaves stage. This is where there's an awakened consciousness. There's a lot of energy. You are wakening up, there's an awakening. You are beginning to say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That you get to start to have this sense of, oh my God, I was created for more. There's more for me. And you're starting to now say, oh, I have a purpose. What is that purpose? What should I be doing in this area? What should I be doing in that area? And then you have a lot of energy. You are pumped up. You are motivated. This is the point where a lot of people even start to register for multiple courses, and they're like, oh, I want to learn this, I want to learn that, I want to, I'm looking for a mentor. All of this starts to happen in the leaf stage. But you see, there's not much accurate understanding. So sometimes in the leaf stage, you can be dispensing a lot of energy with little results. And that's why it leaves. At the end of the day, when you look at a tree, what happens? What you want to actually eat is the fruit most of the time, not the leaves. So the leaves can be a lot, they can even look so beautiful. But what you're actually seeking is fruits. So the leaf stage is not where to settle, and this is where a lot of people just, they play too here. Because they start to have this deeper sense of, oh, there's more, there's more, there's more. But you see, they don't translate from that leaf stage to fruit stage. They stay in the leaf stage. There's a lot of energy, but the energy is not directed in the way of understanding. The energy is not directed in a way that produces the kind of result they want to see. The stage 3 is fruit stage. Now you are one with your purpose, and you are in line with your true self, and you are beginning to create, you are beginning to marshal your energy in the direction it should be going. You understand yourself, you have a good sense of self-awareness, you have a deep-seated conviction about who you are, and you are living in line, with that person that you see yourself from the standpoint of God. You are one with your purpose, you are walking in it. There's a lot of convergence. When you're in the leaf stage, there's a lot of divergence. You are just spreading your energy everywhere. But in the fruit stage, there's a convergence. You are pulling in your energy in the direction you should be pushing it. And so you start to see results. Then from there you move to stage 4, which is fulfillment. Here you are so certain you are doing what you should have been doing, and you have been doing it for a while. You have been doing it for a while. You have iterated. You have, you have made mistakes. You have learned from those mistakes. You have failed at some. You have picked things up. You have learned a lot, and you are beginning to have that sense of, yes, I'm on the right path. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. Yes, I just need to continue. And the final stage is legacy. This is where you now become a force the world can never forget. Here you are now, you are now passing things on to the next generation. You are now intentional about mentoring. You are now intentional about teaching people, how they need to, because you have created the result, you have tested it again and again, and you are able to transfer your wealth of knowledge to another generation so that the things that you have lived for can continue to outlive you. So the 5 stages: the seed stage, the leaf stage, the fruit stage, the fulfillment stage, and then the legacy stage. You want to constantly ask yourself across all the areas of your life, what stage are you? Holistically looking at your entire life, what stage are you in? What stage are you in? Looking at your entire life, what stage are you in? Looking at the various areas of your life, what stage are you in? You want to think about this, you want to ask yourself, because this is how you start to define. When you identify the stage you are in, you now want to start to look at, okay, this stage now, what can I do to move to the next stage? And if you are the seed stage, one of the things you need to start to do is start to get information that will open you up to the fact that you have a purpose and you are here for more. In the seed stage, what you need is, you need a collision with destiny to move you into the leaf stage. You need a force that would come to you and awaken you from that, because in seed stage you are dormant. So you need an awakening to move into the leaf stage. And one of the key things you need to do is to start to find information around. So, for example, you might look at yourself and say, oh, well, I'm probably doing well in maybe I'm doing well in my spiritual life, but my finances is really in a mess. It feels like I'm just living from hand to mouth, no investment, no saving. And like the first thing you want to do as you notice you are in the seed stage is to start to say, where can I get the right information that can awaken me to what is possible in this area of my life? If for you, you are in the seed stage and you don't even know you have a purpose, you want to start asking your, I mean, the fact that you are even taking this awakening course definitely means that you are already on that path of awakening. And I really trust that even as you continue to interact with all the modules in the course, you would actually be awakened, and there will be a dose of energy that will be imparted into you to move you, to get you started on this journey of purpose and destiny. So as if you are in the seed stage across any area of your life, you're looking for the right information. And once you get to the leaf stage, there's already an awakening, there's a lot of energy. You want to now start to streamline and find focus. You want to start to ask yourself, what is the best use of my energy? As against dispensing your energy in everywhere, you are asking, what will be the best use of my energy? What will give me the highest result? The Pareto principles that says that the 80% result that we see are created by 20% of effort. So you are asking, what is that 20% effort that will produce this 80% result, as against expending effort in 80% that is giving you 20% result? So that is what moves you from the leaf state to fruit state. You are now saying, where should I focus? What tailored information would help me to streamline my focus and help me achieve the highest possible output? When you are in the fruit stage, you are saying, this is where you now need resilience. Because in the fruit stage, you might start to see some result, but you might not be where you want to be. In fact, in the fruit stage, you might be experiencing failures. But what we sometimes miss out is the fact that many of these failures are actually what start to help us bear fruit. Because you are probably saying that, maybe I'm not getting the kind of result I want, maybe it's not working, but resilience, you stay there. You keep getting the right information, you keep making what you do better, but you stay there. You don't give up because you're not getting the kind of result you want yet. So in the fruit stage, you are thinking of resilience, you are thinking of accountability, you are thinking of mentorship, you are thinking of coaching, you are saying, who can hold my hand so that in this thing I'm doing, I'm going to be at the cutting edge of it. And then when you are at the fulfillment stage, here you don't want to play too. You are now saying, how can I increase my impact? How can I increase my reach? How can I multiply the result I already have? How can I multiply the work that I'm doing? How can I make what is already better? How can I make it even way better than it is? And in legacy, you're thinking of, how can I raise others? How can I be an exceptional leader? How can I pass what I've learned, what I've worked for me to other people coming behind me? I hope this stages of life chart has given you some idea about where you are, where you need to be, and what you need to start doing at each stage where you might be. And I'm really trusting that even as you take, these 5 stages, you think about it, you will start to see what you should be doing in each, for each area of your life, how you can move to the next stage. Now let's go right into the keys for intentional living. I have 4 keys here, and I feel like I want to always make all of these things very simple. I don't want to just say too many things. I want to just make it simple in a way whereby you can always remember. Intentional living is actually just living by design. It's living in a way that pleases God, you know, gives you the best out of life and helps you contribute to humanity, contribute to the world. And you see, at the end of the day, this is what we are all seeking for. We want to please God, we want to be happy, we want to be fulfilled, and we also want to be, we want to have that sense that, okay, yes, I'm contributing, I'm helping other people. And these are foundational keys that if you can take these foundational keys, I bet you'll be set on that part of intentional living. And the first one is submit to God. See, every other thing is built on this foundation. If you don't submit to God, you will miss out on what is possible. Because you see, we live in a wicked world, and that's just it's just on a given. We live in a world that is fundamentally flawed. God has to be your advantage. God has to be your edge. God, the all wise, all seeing, all knowing, He has you. You want to be on His side because that's really where that's where the whole foundation starts from. Submit to God. Live in submission to God. Make God a priority. Make your spiritual devotion a priority. Make your spiritual devotion a priority. Make your spiritual devotion a priority. The next thing you also want to do is to make your day count. You see, you see, you know how we say SI unit, right? You know, SI unit of maybe length is meter, right? SI unit of weight is maybe kilogram, right? The SI unit of life is time. What you do with your every day, your every hour, your every minute, every second is what actually makes your life. Your life is not, your life is not something you do at some point, maybe something you prepare to do. Your life is how you live every minute, every second, every hour, every day. How are you making your day count? This is like there's really no other, aesthetics around intentional living. It's as basic as making your day count, making your time count, making your minutes count. So every single time you get to do something, you're asking yourself that this thing I just did, is it a gain to me or is it a loss? You look at every hour of your day, you say, this hour, did I gain it or did I lose it? Intentional living is to say, how can I account for every day? You see, the same way they teach us to account for our money, create a budget, that's really the same thing we should do with our time. Because you see, even your time is way more important than your money. Because it's your time that actually gives you the opportunity to make money. You see, so you want to make your day count, you want to make your time count, you want to make your hour count, your minute, your second. You want to guard your time jealously. Because that's the SI unit of your life. For every hour you waste, you are wasting your life. For every hour you just spend frivolously. For every hour you spend without thinking about the consequence of that 1 hour. So intentional living, as basic as just having, a schedule for your day, as basic as saying, okay, today this is what I want. These are my top ticket items. These are my top bucket items that I must, click out today. It can be as basic as that. For somebody, you might even be saying, oh, maybe I'm not too good with scheduling yet. I can't, I don't know how to plan my day. You can just ask yourself when you wake up every morning, what are the top three things that if they happened that day, you know that you have made good use of that day. Make sure you write those three things down and make sure you achieve those three things. It's as basic as that. What are those top three things that you must spend today doing? That you must achieve today? And don't just be activity driven, be goal driven. Don't just be thinking of activity. Don't just say, oh, I want to read this, I want to read that. Make sure you are goal driven. Maybe you say, if you are reading this thing, you are saying, I want to read this so that I can achieve XYZ. Do you see? So, as against being activity driven, be goal driven. Let it be that there's a goal you want to achieve, and all the other activities are just to help you achieve that goal. Make your day count. Make your day count. And the third thing is focus. We live in such a distracted world. We live in such a distracted world. There's just a lot calling for our attention. There's a lot calling for our attention. And we must fight for our focus. We must fight for our focus because it is when we stay focused, we can live intentionally. We can live by design. Because you see, there would always be a fight for your attention. There will always be something more shining calling for your attention. So you see, there would always be that, even noble things that would fight for, this is what you should be doing. But this and this, these other things, look attractive. They look like, oh, that might be the best thing to do. And if you're not careful, you leave what you're supposed to do to start to do those other things that at the end of the day will not count. One critical key for living intentionally is focus. Stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. And the final thing on living intentionally is live holistically. One of the things that used to really stress me out when I was younger is how I see people who one area of their life is great and that area is somehow, and the thing used to really bother me because I used to be like, I really didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be a person who one area of my life is fantastic, then another area of my life is nothing to write home. Like, it now looks like everybody should just have this but area in their life that this area is just not adding up. And that's why you want to live holistically. You want to make sure you are building every area of your life at the same time. You want to make sure that no area of your life is suffering because of another area. You want to make sure you are rotating your focus in your life. You are saying, okay, you are making sure that my relationship with God is great. I'm intentional about building the relationships that matter to me. I'm intentional about building my finance. I'm intentional about serving God. I'm intentional about serving my generation. Yes, you might not be pursuing everything actively at the same time, but there must be a sense of balance in your life. There must be a sense of holistic and all round building. There must be a sense of every area of your life you are factoring it in. Because, see, one of the things that I've learned from scriptures and from how God created us is God created us to be complete. It is never the will of God for you to be, an A flyer in one area and be on an F in another area. It's never God's intention for you to be spiritual and poor and your finances are messy. It's never God's intention for you to have a thriving career, a thriving business, and then your family is in shambles. It is never God's intention. There's a wisdom that should be tapped into to make your life holistic and balanced. That is why you see scriptures repeating again and again that that he would keep you spirit, soul, and body. Just sort of showing that holisticness, sort of showing that completeness, that all roundness. And so, as you're thinking of living intentionally, make sure you're taking into cognizance every aspect of your life. I hope this part of this module has been helpful. I hope it has been insightful. And I hope that is making you think. Because at the end of the day, you want to ask yourself, what can I do differently? What would I do differently? What is that thing that I can change? What is the action I can take? How can you, out of these 4 points of living intentionally, which of these points are you saying, this is a part I need to strengthen? This is a part I need to work on. This is a part that I'm doing well in. How can I take the wisdom from that part and apply it to this other part? How are you going to make your day count going on? How are you going to account for every day? How are you going to stay focused? What relationships are you going to cut from because they keep draining your focus? What area of your life is suffering the most that you're like, I need to pay some more attention here? Intentional living is for you. Intentional living is for you. God created you to live intentionally. You are not to live your life by chance. You are not to live your life by anything. You're not to live your life by anything comes in, anything goes anyhow. We just wing it. No. You were created to live intentionally. And I'm challenging you today, to think about how you can be more intentional about every single thing in your life. And I hope you are going to be able to take some insight out of this part of this module and start to apply it. Thank you and see you in the other module.